A disgraced former Russian military officer and nationalist movement icon has been shot dead here in Moscow. Yuri Budanov had spent 8 years in prison for kidnapping and killing a Chechen teenage girl. Officials on the scene of his murder, however, don't believe it was an act of revenge, but an attempt to ignite ethnic tensions. RT's Peter Oliver joins us live now from the crime scene. Peter, this happened just a short while ago. Take us through exactly what happened.
Well, Yuri Budanov, a hugely controversial figure here in Russia. He had been a highly decorated military officer, the commander of a tank regiment during the Second Chechen War. He was stripped of all of those honours following his 2003 conviction for the abduction and killing of an 18-year-old Chechen woman. Now, he remained in prison until late 2009 when he was released on parole. And around 12 o'clock midday here in central Moscow, on his busy street in the centre of the Russian capital, he was gunned down. Just behind me, through an archway there, in the courtyard of an apartment block. Police are saying he could have been shot. He was shot 4 times in the head by those people who have killed him. The investigation, of course, now in its early stages, but they've already said that they have found a car believed to have been used by the killers. In that car they found a gun with a silencer fitted to it. That vehicle was partially burnt out. Now they are saying from footage they have, from pictures they have, that the driver of that car was of Slavic ethnicity, and they'll be giving us more information on that as soon as they get it. Now, Budanov's lawyer has said that there's no way, in his opinion, this was a revenge killing for the crime he committed in Chechnya. He believes that this is, as do investigators, that this is a crime that's been committed to incite hatred in the country.
Taking into account Budanov's personality and his history, the investigation's not ruling out that his murder may have been a provocation. There is also no evidence that one or another ethnic group was behind the killing.
So officials saying that they think this was an act, like you said as well, to ignite ethnic tensions. In that case, what kind of repercussions are we expecting from this murder?
Well, Budanov was viewed in some circles in Russia, in some nationalist groups and far-right groups, as a hero, an iconic figure for what he did during the Chechen War. Now, we'll have to wait and see if there will be any response from those organisations, if there will be any protests. But yes, it does appear that this has, well, what we're hearing from investigators and from Budanov's lawyer, that this had been done to provoke a reaction from those groups and to incite ethnic tensions in the country.
All right, Peter Oliver live from the crime scene where Yuri Budanov was shot dead just shortly here in Moscow. Thanks for that update. Dmitry Bavich, who's a political analyst for the RIA Novosti news agency, says despite the fact that Yuri Budanov had strong support among ultra-nationalists, it's unlikely his murder will trigger a violent response.
The story is very complicated. First, there was this story with the Chechen girl, presumably killed by Budanov. Then a lawyer who who represented the interests of the family of that girl was killed in Moscow, very much in the way Budanov was killed now. So it could be Chechen Islamists, it could be some people from extremist anti-nationalist organizations with which that lawyer, the murdered lawyer Markelov, was liaised. There can be a lot of versions. What I'm sure about is that there will be no nationalist backlash, because there are very few people who identify with Budanov. There was the trial, and people who supported him, I would say, they didn't particularly like him as a person. It was rather a protest against hysteria which was reigning in the liberal mass media at the moment. Liberal mass media declared Budanov guilty before the trial. So there were some people who sympathized with him. But I don't think we're going to see a huge backlash now, because military do not identify with Budanov.